Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, the best there is, best there was, and the best there ever will be. And you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Rewind. It's that weekly wrestling show where RN and myself take a look back at the latest week in wrestling, both in and outside the ring, and give our little 2 cents on it. We are your hosts. My name is Kyle Tyson.
I am Mr. 8984, RN, if you will.
And that we will. I'm used to a little bit more follow-up with you. I wasn't sure if you had something else to add to it.
I forgot I can't do the brains anymore. You beat me in the last trivia, so I had to make an adjustment.
Oh, we can give you the brains. It's okay. You guys, man, it's I ain't gonna lie. I kind of want to address the elephant in the room, just because this is our first show since the passing of Bray Wyatt and of course Terry Funk. I kind of wanted to open us up today and just address it. It's been a bummer, man, this year. We've dealt with a lot of loss. It's the Bray Wyatt hit really close to home because the man is still, like active roster and also he's part of like our generation.
Yeah,
such a young guy, creative mind taken way too early. On top of that, it's just been a killer year, man. We earlier in the year we lost Mr. Iron Sheik. I got his shirt on right now. That was a big one. He was a huge presence. One of the better parts of Twitter was just seeing him tell Hogan to fuck off every day, which was a fantastic thing. And then I know for myself personally, I lost like my grandfather, and one of my favorite YouTube podcasts actually kind of inspired me to get started. Going in Raw, they lost one of their cast members and the dad of the main host, Steve here. And Jesus Christ, dude, it's been a rough fucking year, man.
Yeah.
With loss. And granted, I don't know how much levity you guys put into the lives of celebrities and stuff, but at the end of the day, I think the reason why it hits hard for a lot of us is we do sit down week after week and let that human, entertain us. And we allow ourselves to get sucked into a part of their life, even though it's a very minor part. They in turn become a part of our lives. And I think that's why it's okay to be upset over the loss of celebrities and people that you've never met before.
This one really, like, normally I don't let it like get to me like this, but like Bray was a little bit different because like being a dad with kids and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like it's different when like some old dude that's like 70, 80 years old and fucking up and down the road doing hard drugs and drinking and shit and drugs his whole life and shit. And he, you know what I'm saying? Like, not saying that makes it easier, like, because I know that's somebody's dad and shit and everything. Too,
but you're kind of a little bit more prepared mentally for something like that. Like to you,
like Terry Funk.
It makes sense. Like your brain can, although it still feels tragic, your brain puts the pieces together and you're like, I see how that happened. With Bray, you like question, you're like, no, it's something, there has to be a problem here. Like I remember reading the tweet by Triple H and it took me once or twice before it kicked in. Like he was talking, in fact, about Bray Wyatt. Like my brain couldn't fathom it, man.
Right. Well, my thing is too, just like with the COVID shit, like people think that shit's a game and like make it political and shit and like made us draw a line in the sand about like that shit's real. Like I've lost people from it. Now the wrestling world has lost someone from it. Like it's not a game and it's not something to like play around with. Like your health is important, and I just hate how people turn this vaccine shit and everything into like a game of chicken and shit. Like it's your kids get vaccines every year before they start school. Our parents did. Like how you think we got rid of polio and fucking smallpox and all that shit? Like it was from a vaccine. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, like all this shit just like it brings the COVID stuff like kind of back to life. That kind of makes you
It's an
think like,
unfortunate part. Yeah, I think a lot of us, myself included, have tried to put COVID, far from my mind and
right, right,
to ignore that. But it also it reminds me of like what I said when it was going on. It's going to be something that just like never fully goes away.
yeah. I
And
guess
yeah,
there's like certain places, pockets where like it's back on the rise and shit. And they were talking about maybe a shutdown, but like I said, even with that, like it's like people make it like it's made up or some shit. Like I've seen one of my best friends on a ventilator from having COVID. Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
I think
you know what
what
I'm
it
saying? Like
is
it's crazy.
a lot of us are fortunate enough that our personal experience with COVID was very
Right,
minor.
right,
You know what I mean? And so it is easy. And then you're right. It is so easy to get mixed up in the political aspect of everything.
right.
Hearing unfortunately, like leaders, saying, I don't know how really how to say it. Is just it's a weird mixture of kind of just like doing your own thing and
Right.
understanding something for what it is, but then also hearing people that line up with you a little bit more politically speak their way, and then
Right.
kind of getting wrapped up in the midst of that. You know what I mean?
What I always took from it is like from either side. Like I would rather take advice from medical doctors and scientists, not some fucking idiots who only got to college because their parents paid somebody to get them there. Like, or people that that literally barely graduated high school and getting advice from them on virology or how the hell ever you say it. Like, no,
so I'm
motherfucker. Like, I've been in a room with you before. Like, you can barely write your own name. I don't want to take any advice from you from
yeah
vaccines or a
yeah
sickness or something, bro. I'm sorry. I just don't.
yeah I'm assuming that since it happened, you've seen, I guess, some diminishing or things detracting from the moment by bringing up like COVID and the vaccine and just using it as another excuse to spew
Right.
fucking thoughts and everything on that. Shit
Right.
didn't even cross my mind. I avoid the internet, man, for that shit now. That's why you hardly ever see me on Twitter or Facebook or any of the other shit. By that
I
means,
just
like,
don't argue anymore. Like I went through so much shit with like the Black Lives Matter stuff and all that shit during COVID and stuff. Like at this point, I just started to realize like some people are just ignorant and that's all they're ever gonna be on both sides. I'm not
yeah,
taking shots at Republicans. Democrats are fucking idiots too. Like
yeah.
I wouldn't
Well,
claim I'm either one. Like I vote
it's
for who I think is best for me. So
it's
but
foolish to try to base all of your beliefs off of somebody who wears the same color tie as you prefer. You know
exactly.
what I mean? I remember like one piece of advice my aunt gave me growing up when I was living with her, and she said, I mean, it's super basic advice too. By the way, this isn't going to be anything like groundbreaking, but she always told me that like you're going to hear arguments as you get older. It's important to hear both sides and then kind of understand that the truth, more often than not, is found somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? And that's why politics fucking suck, is because truth be told, there are arguments for both liberals and conservatives and stuff. But unfortunately, like the perfect answer is kind of like, in my opinion, like a combination of everybody. But it kind of, it just sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks that so many people have died this year, and it sucks that when you do have a death, especially as close as Bray Wyatt is to our generation, and then tie that into the fucking stigma that is COVID, and understanding
Right.
that, yeah, his death was brought on by an existing
Complications,
heart
yeah.
issue that was exacerbated by COVID, and then he ultimately had a heart attack. I guess there was some more news that came out recently, like today or yesterday. I haven't looked into it, but I heard there's more details on it. I think Jess, my wife, was saying something about he may have passed in his sleep.
Yeah. And it's funny too, like how people were like saying like there's nothing wrong with him and it's money and all this other shit, and the fact that he's actually really been sick, like that kind of put a chip on my shoulder too. Like especially like I know certain accounts that were talking shit about why he's not back and all that, and then everybody's posting this RIP shit. You'll be missed. Like, well, motherfucker, you didn't even believe he was sick. Like, that's why
Yeah.
I literally just I speak my piece, and I don't argue with people. Like I let even when people are like commenting and arguing on my shit, I never respond or say anything. I just keep it fucking moving.
Well, with me, honestly, I'm always like a numbers person. Like and it's kind of like the classic argument of my wife fucking hates it because like whenever we argue, I argue like facts and not feelings, which is I have learned over the years. It is one way to look at an argument, but feelings are have to be validated. A person's allowed to feel how they feel. But anyways, how this ties into like fucking arguing online is I've only got so many hours in the day, and you know this, RN. As we get older, we've only got so many fucking hours, and it's like, dude, why waste them? Why waste them online, fucking texting somebody you'll never see in person, about an argument they'll never take seriously because it's hard to be empathetic through a phone screen as it is, anyways. The reason why arguing and debating usually works in person and people don't just start brawling every time they start arguing is they're around each other and they can fucking you get empathy when you're in the sight of another person.
When you're arguing with somebody in person, you start thinking about is that motherfucker gonna beat your ass or punch you in the face.
That's another way to look at it too.
That's what it is, and that's how I tell people when we're trying to have it. Like I used to argue and debate, like, and it's cool, like it's all right. People don't understand it's okay to have a debate and and be on other sides of it. Like that's what life is about, is making choices, standing by them, and defending your point. But like for when people get personal and stuff, I'm like, this is what I always say. Like if I was standing next to you and I slapped you in the fucking mouth for that, am I wrong?
Yeah, and that's another reason why too.
That's how and that's how normally the conversation gets squashed. Because 9 times out of 10, yes. Most of these motherfuckers that I saw, like, I'm not gonna lie, some of them I probably would get beat up by, but 90% of them, if I was standing next to you, I'd slap your fucking head off, or I'd choke you out, like literally wrap my hands around your neck and choke you till you can't breathe anymore, and you couldn't do a fucking thing about it. So unless you can beat me up, if I was you, like in the words of Dave Chappelle, I'd shut the fuck up, and normally that's when the argument ends.
That's when it ends, right? Yeah, it's unfortunate, and you see, and you know what? The reason why we feel like this is because fucking losing people is traumatic.
Right.
It sucks, man. It really fucking sucks. I didn't bring it up. This is like the first time I think I've brought it up on air, but I lost my grandfather recently.
Yeah.
It has been bumming me out super because I have a lot of regrets about it, about the time I spent with him, because we see that men are often like the unsung heroes of the world. It's true, man. Like women and children oftentimes seem to matter a lot more than men do, and I'm not perfect. Like when I lost my grandmother, I thought I treated it like I lost both my grandparents.
Right.
And it fucking sucks now because it's too late to go back. I didn't have enough conversations with the man after she died, and
right.
It fucking, yeah, man, it sucks. It sucks, losing people. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, talking to you, you know.
But I always look at it as like, I know the type of person my mom was. Like, she would have called me a pussy. I'm like, bro, get your shit together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's always with that person that when I needed that kick in the ass, where I knew when she gave it to me, it was from a place of love, and it wasn't just somebody that, because you know how people are when you got mental shit going on. Like, oh, just cheer up. I'm like, motherfucker, if I could cheer up, I would cheer up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I knew coming from my mom, like I knew it was like a place of love. She was like, all right, get it out. Get it out. Get it out.
Get it out, man.
All right, you got it out. Okay, you good? All right, now let's move forward. Let's figure out what we do from here. So like,
and that's what I want to teach my kids.
Right.
And that's what I try to teach my kids is, saying it's okay to cry.
Right.
Is to a lot of people, like, they need to understand why it's okay. Mm-hmm. Like, why is it okay to cry? It's not just like a masculinity thing or feeling vulnerable type of thing. It's fucking, you have to get that shit out, man. You have to deal with those emotions and get it out, and don't keep it festering.
Well, I guess my thing is too, like, that's what she used to always tell me, but like, I was always stuck being, like you said, in that toxic, not even necessarily toxic masculinity. Like you said, like men aren't supposed to cry, but like now I think about it, like I'm gonna cry. And like I said, I go back to that thing with like the political thing. Like, yeah, I'm gonna cry, but say something, bro. I know I can beat your ass. Like, so go ahead and call me a sissy, whatever the fuck you want. But if we have to throw hands, like, I know there's a good chance I'm gonna put it on you. So like, while I'm crying, you gonna be crying afterwards, but you gonna be crying for different reasons. So like, it took me a long time to like, I don't even want to say like get over myself, not really get over something, but like the whole point of being tough and masculine is for that. So like, why can't I be tough and masculine about being open and honest and letting myself feel emotions and like crying? Like, it's okay to do that.
It's no, and that's what it is. Yeah, I mean that's really what it is. You just don't want to fester on emotions because, like I said, they come out wrong whenever they do come out, or you end up with regret. You end up with regret. So it's just yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth hanging on to. Just get it out, deal with it, deal with your problem, and then you move on. And you fucking move on.
Why
right?
is there two of you?
Is there? Oh shit! See, I learned a trick to add content to there we go. My bad. I learned a trick to add shit into the stream via my cell phone, but yeah, that's like a side effect. Oh man. Anyways, listen, you guys. Thank you for hearing. I just had to get that shit out, man. It's been festering for.
And we had to talk about it, like everyone's talking about. We had to.
Yeah. You just got to get it out, man. Anyways, we have a fun show now coming up. We're gonna go ahead and talk about. We'll open up the show with our favorite Bray moments, maybe like our favorite version of Bray. If RN has anything he wants to add about Terry Funk, we can. Unfortunately, I never really watched any of the Funkers matches or witnessed really any of his career outside of like Chainsaw Charlie. Okay,
and it was I guess I'll just start there since you don't really have
go ahead.
So
do your thing. Yeah, do your thing.
I guess I was listening to another podcast, actually, Ill Fam's podcast, the Black Wrestling. Okay. It was like, if you line up 5 to 10 different people, wrestling fans, half of those or more, each one of them would have a different version of Terry Funk that they remember growing up, because he wrestled almost 50 years and he had so many different eras of his career. Like for me, I remember Chainsaw Charlie / Barbed Wire Match. Like the first pay-per-view I ever ordered on my own that I paid for was Barely Legal, where Sabu fucking wrapped him and fucking Terry Funk up in barbed wire and did a fucking Arabian death drop on Terry Funk, and they got stuck together with the barbed wire, and wrestlers had to come out and like use the wire cutters to like cut them off of each other. Like,
fuck, dude.
That and, like that's the match where Sabu like ripped his fucking bicep open and taped it together.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah. So that's that. So match.
Like that's the Terry Funk I remember. Old ass Terry Funk with like the 80s workout fucking shirt hanging off his shoulder and shit, and the bandana and stuff, and then wearing his wife's pantyhose at Chainsaw Charlie versus the New Age Outlaws. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah.
No, so like, yeah, it was a big deal for me. Like, just because it was somebody that I can honestly say, like, I remember paying to watch his matches. So like, Bray was a little bit different for different reasons, but like for actual like wrestling memories and like nostalgia, like Terry Funk was a big deal for me.
Yeah, man. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to create like a day where I can put aside like an hour or something and go back and watch like wrestling from bygone eras, you know, because I think I watch everything that comes out weekly, but rarely do I actually go back and watch anything, you know, and I know there's a whole bunch of fantastic stuff to go back and see that I haven't witnessed. So Terry Funk,
I don't do none of that shit. I'll go back and look for a match, but like for the most part, like I go back and stuff. Like even if you just go back to like when you remember watching wrestling, that's what I do. Like I remember '93. I always go like 3 or 4 years before. Start 3 or 4 years before that,
and start watching what, like weekly shows.
Yeah, weekly shows or just like pay-per-views. Like because like anything before me, like it doesn't matter if you go back and watch it, you're still not gonna get that. You're not gonna get from it what you would have if you had actually watched it when it happened. Like some of the shit is great. Like I'll go back and watch random matches, but I watch shit from when I was alive and I know happened, and like I remember shit outside of wrestling that happened at that same time. So like that kind of gives me like an anchor point to it.
And that's kind of like my thing. What I would need to like, I'm probably not gonna go back and watch too much stuff from the 80s.
No, I always start at 90. That's where I
Yeah,
start.
but I still like to go back and every now and then. Like one of my favorite things I watched was a Ric Flair. No, not Ric Flair. The Steamboat and Macho
Randy.
Man match.
Yeah.
From Mania. Like I liked that because and I was anchored because I remember seeing those guys
Right.
at least at some point, and then I got to go back and enjoy that. So what I think I'll do is at some point I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna find like a Terry Funk match.
Yo, Terry
Maybe,
Funk
probably
used to
that
be-
one. Probably that one that you just mentioned.
Terry
'cause that
Funk
shit
used
sounds
to be
hardcore as
fucking
fuck.
Diesel. That's another thing. Like if you go back far enough, you can see that motherfucker was buff as fuck. He wasn't old dad bod like what you like the vision of him.
Yeah,
you have in your head.
He's always been like around 60 years old in my head.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He fucking wrestled Hogan a bunch, the Von Erichs a bunch. Like, there's good, really, really good stuff you can go back and find for Terry Funk if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah. Going over to Bray now. So I didn't see any of the Husky Harris. I didn't see NXT Bray at all. When I came back into wrestling, Bray was just finishing up his feud with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Where
The tagline when he was Husky Harris was, I think it was like a Lamborghini and a whatever the tank was called, fucking frame or some shit. Like,
yeah,
it was weird, but like it made sense, like, cause how he performed. Like, it was kind of how he wrestled as Bray, but he did a little bit more athletic shit. Was kind of more high pace, like fast paced, like in his matches and shit. So,
yeah, my favorite version of Bray, I think I'm gonna have to go with is Fiend. I'm not gonna lie. I know Eater of Worlds is probably gonna be most people's favorites, but there's something about the Fiend's first entrance on SummerSlam just came together perfectly. But I think my favorite Bray moment though was by far the promo he gave after he won his first world championship at Elimination Chamber.
yeah.
And the passion in his voice was more emotive than I had ever heard from him. And by that point, I've heard his promos for several years. Yeah. But there was like something so different in that promo after he won his first world championship that moved me. And I think that's like my all-time favorite Bray moment.
Cult Leader Bray, and it started at NXT is probably my favorite because at that time it was just something so different and new that we hadn't seen before, and like you didn't know what it was, but you couldn't take your eyes off of it.
A lot of because the tribute package, by the way, WWE once again is broken record, but their production staff and their video packages are just just top notch, man. But I noticed that a lot of the stuff, like the debut vignettes that he had, were freaking amazing. Like that
scary
one where
shit.
Luke Harper, I guess you took the place of the person behind the camera, and Luke Harper actually lured you into their house.
Yeah.
And you were walking through that. I was like, when the fuck did they do this? Like, I thought everything was like built like a music video. I didn't realize you guys actually gave a tour of like the Wyatt compound at some point. You know what I mean? And
oh yeah, that early shit was ridiculous. Like that early shit, like I don't even remember many matches. Like I just remember mostly the vignettes and shit and him talking and then like ending it on the rocking chair on the stage with them standing behind him and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and by far my best Bray moment is definitely the cinematic match with fucking AJ.
Oh, with wait, with AJ?
Was there AJ?
No, you're talking about with John Cena, the
Firefly
with John
Funhouse
Cena
match.
Yeah.
The Firefly Funhouse match.
Yeah. I was like, fucking. I was like, there was that, and then there was like the terrible one with Randy Orton where they.
I was thinking I got it, the Undertaker and AJ one mixed up.
Yeah, that one's phenomenal too.
Yeah,
like,
the
no
Firefly Funhouse match, because to me, like, I always felt like that was untapped.
Yeah.
As far as like the stuff with the Funhouse and shit and everything, and like, I didn't think they played with the duality of him enough. Like, I know he had a couple matches when he was like Firefly Bray with the fucking sweater and shit on and everything, but like, I thought that I know that into the Fiend stuff, but like, I would have shit with that. You know what I'm saying?
I think I lost you for a little bit there. Are you back now?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
I was talking the entire time, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, you kind of froze up on my end, and then I heard like a.
No, I was saying that the Firefly Funhouse. Like, I wish we could have got some more like three faces of Foley type shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, no, that was. I wish they had a follow up with Cena. That was a really missed opportunity.
Yeah.
That Bray could have put together like a silly little video, because the way that match ended was Cena was like essentially like stuck in the Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah.
But obviously WWE had to bring him back like a year later or something for some type of promotion. I wish they had done just a small fucking package of him getting out of the Firefly Funhouse. Oh, it would have been fun as hell.
Or just like a part 2, and then like I said, and then we got like that interview that fucking Ross did with Mick Foley, and all three of his fucking personalities came on the fucking screen. Like,
hell yeah.
Like, I think that's what we're gonna miss, is the fact that we won't be able to get to see him like lose his mind and like really
just
be
like
breaker
just
of
like
worlds.
It was just like Brody Lee, man.
Right.
We were just starting to tap into their potentially. Is just so much left potential. You know what I mean? Is as far as and this is very selfish for us to talk about, and we get that. But as far as like the fans and what they had to give, yeah, it's very similar to Brody, where it was just there was so much potential left, for them to accomplish. After Bray died, I made a poster. Is what I made. I went back and I used some of my Photoshop skills. And I ain't too proud of it because it's like my first version, but I was like really in the moment. So I made this right here, and I got it ordered. And that's gonna go on the wall, and then maybe I'll revisit it and make another one. But yeah, got a poster coming. We're here to. Oh yeah, you know what? We're here to talk about AEW All In as well. So let's talk about that. AEW All In was this weekend. RN. Of course, like any other major AEW pay-per-view, it's going to be shrouded in some controversy. Although this controversy seems a lot less impactful than what happened at All Out last year. Overall, RN. What we're going to do here is we're going to give our general thoughts on the show. We'll talk about little bits that stood out to us. But I asked, we got 3 takeaways about the show. And we'll give that stuff. But first off, RN, what did you think of All In London, Wembley?
It was mid. I mean, but not in a bad way. No, let me finish. Like, not in a bad way. Like, not in a bad way, mid. Like, I expected it to be some more crazier shit because of, like, the brevity of it and what the situation was and everything like that, which I'm not, like, I'm glad it was more reserved than I had originally thought it was going to be. Like, if that makes sense. So, like, yeah, I'm saying it's mid, but like,
safe. They played it kind of safe.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was mid, but like, it was mid in a good way for AEW, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, obviously, you don't want to, the bloom came off the rose after like how many, like surprise appearances and all the crazy stuff that AEW pulled its first several years. Right. It was I think a good call to just have a safe, decent pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's AEW's by far their best pay-per-view, but I mean I gave it like a solid, I mean, depending my mood, I gave it between a B+ and an A-.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's mid. Like I guess I shouldn't say mid. Like it was a really good show.
It is legendary in the aspect, of course, it broke the record for the highest paid attendance to ever attend a wrestling event, which is really cool. Which I guess I'm gonna use that to kick off my first takeaway, and that is AEW is legit, baby. AEW is legit. You put on an event, you go to say you're gonna do an arena pay-per-view and or a stadium pay-per-view, excuse me, and you break the all-time record for the most paid tickets purchased. That puts you on in I know it's gonna cause some detractors, man, but that puts you on WWE's level. in some
In no way
aspect.
does it put them on that level.
You can break a company down into many different sections, like a pie chart where some stats are really high and other stats are low. There is a stat that where people are willing to pay and see a show, they are on WWE's level as far as fan interest in their live events.
No,
And
you know
this
why it's not. You know
proves
why
it.
that does. If this was a show in America, I would take that. But they they had it in a place where they're probably never going to go back again until next year. So people were thinking, "Fuck, we may not ever see this again." So we have to go get tickets to it. Second of all, then you get the shit after the show, the fucking brawl, all in brawl or whatever. Like that's why they will never be on.
I am
WWE's.
saying is in paid paid ticket attendance. AEW's on
reaching.
WWE's level, man.
This is a reach statement. I've never disagreed with you more in my entire life
Yes, they are.
than
man.
I do right now. Never that, bro. Just stop. Just stop.
What's one of your takeaways?
My takeaways is Will Ospreay is the best wrestler in the world,
Fucking
and he's ready.
dude.
And he's ready for WWE. And I think that was a big part of why he had that match with Jericho. Was you can have a match with Jericho, you can have a match with pretty much anybody in WWE.
Not to mention, did he have a match with Jericho? He had Jericho's best match since coming to AEW.
By far, if not best, top 2 or 3.
I watched that match. And I was like, Jericho's gonna fucking kill himself. Like, I could not believe, because Jericho's promo leading into it was that he called Will Ospreay and told him to start using a safer style. And then Jericho immediately went out there with Will Ospreay and said, at 52 years old, I'll try to break my neck with you, bud. Like, they fucking... What's Will Ospreay's finishing move? He has you up on the shoulder and he fucking like spins you off and slams
Stormbreaker.
you. Chris Jericho came out of a Stormbreaker into a Hurricanrana reversal.
Yeah.
Which was just fucking nuts, man.
Well, not even that, too. Like, I feel a whole lot better about him going to WWE because he was bigger than Jericho. He was taller than Jericho and visibly bigger than Jericho.
Yeah.
Like, that to me, that was a good thing to see. And like you said, like, that match was set up for that stadium. Like, everything. And that's the one thing about Jericho. Like, you hate him or love him, he knows how to build moments. He knows how to play to the crowd that he's at, and he knows what each moment calls for and what you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So like it was dope.
No, it was, man. It was absolutely my it's not like I expected a bad match out of Jericho, but I did not expect just like that jaw-dropping match. I think in terms of just in-ring quality, I think that was my favorite match of the night. And it might just be my favorite match of the night, regardless of like what I'm looking at. Because the Jericho did. I want to know who produced that the promo leading into All In that Jericho had with Will Ospreay, because it at like between, granted, you can try to, like a month-long feud with a blow-off match is great, and it's how I prefer to ingest my pro wrestling stories.
Right.
But for literally just to go from one beat, like there was 3 segments. What? Jericho got jumped by Ospreay. Next week they had their promo, and then boom, they're in Wembley. Literally in 3 beats, they told a fantastic story, in my opinion. I mean, in most of the storytelling was in that damn match, but oh man, I am over the moon, and by default that makes it my favorite Will Ospreay match, because spoiler, I haven't seen too many Will Ospreay matches.
Yeah, no, I expected this to be the match of the night, and I wasn't disappointed. And like I said, it just one more thing that shows that Will Ospreay is the greatest wrestler in the world right now. Okada, Jericho, and Kenny Omega in the last 2 months. That's it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all that needs to be said.
Yeah, man. My next take is that AEW's women division might get actually like started as far as compelling stories. Now, granted, this one I'm the least confident about, but but everyone wants. I know the comparison that most people want to make is because the only other stadium shows that we can compare all into was WrestleMania, and one of the thoughts is, does it feel like WrestleMania? Because WrestleMania always has like these big. Not only like does WrestleMania feel huge, but the way their production is, and we talked about the production, is that camera team can make certain moments look extremely iconic. And in my opinion, where that production team worked their best in All In was Soraya's entrance and victory in All In.
I was going to say that. That's the only time it looked
straight out of WrestleMania, dude.
That's what I said. That was the only time it looked and felt like a big show that it was.
Yeah, I was watching, and I've never been too invested in Paige, but between obviously she's probably the biggest hometown star there next to Will Ospreay.
Yeah, those were
her
two
entrance
by far.
With her family. Anybody that's followed Saraya or Paige over the years, we saw the movie Fighting with My Family. We've heard her story, and I honestly never thought I'd see like a big stadium match where her family is featured not only in her entrance but as a part of the match, which is it's written right in there. She comes from a family of professional wrestlers. How fucking much, like, how perfect is that to get them to actually play out in the damn match? It was fantastic. It was honestly it was I don't know how to like articulate it. It was the biggest feeling thing, like the closest to WrestleMania feeling that AEW gave me, and it was. And then not only the women's Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, then on top of that, with Sasha being in the crowd.
Yeah, man. No, that was it. It was like I said. There is some. You can nitpick in there. Essentially the Fatal 4-Way match. The outcome was a little head scratching. I know there was a lot of people that wanted Toni Storm to win. A lot of people, feel bad that Shida essentially at this point is just a transitional champion because they didn't want the belt to go off of, one Outcast member onto the other. However, they did tell the story at the show of the Outcast breaking up, so I don't see why that was a problem. So granted, from a booking standpoint, it's a little bit of a head scratcher. But I know it's at this point you might as well make it a fucking t-shirt. I give them a pass just because of how fucking big it felt, man. And I loved it. And you know what? There's a little glimmer of hope in me that AEW is going to see what they did with this match, and maybe their women's division can become a more legitimate focal point going forward.
Yeah, you are wishing on a star.
Look, man, I'm going for it tonight, bro. I'm going for it. I'm making the hot takes tonight.
One of my biggest is that, like we talked about, like the look and feel of it didn't match the actual moment of it. Like the production of it was not up to par.
I mean, because the only thing we can compare it to is WrestleMania.
And I'm not even necessarily comparing it to WrestleMania. I'm just comparing it to other big promotions when they have which is essentially their WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because the only other one I could compare it to me that comes to mind that I've personally seen is like New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom in the Tokyo Dome,
right? And
how they do theirs, and those feel legit big too. Coming from.
That's what I'm saying. Like the two big moments for me where it felt like a big show was, believe it or not, Chris Jericho and Fozzy fucking performing, and like you said, Soraya's entrance and her winning. Like those felt like almost WrestleMania moments. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm talking about just like how their table looked out there, like when the MJF like Adam Cole spot, like all of that shit just looked. It looks second tier. Like I don't understand how a billionaire putting on the biggest show of fucking in history. Like literally the biggest show in history. Like all of their shit was mid as fuck, man. I'm sorry. Like I did like how the ring was constructed. I was kind of like when WrestleMania was in Miami where it had like the shit coming off the ring and stuff and everything. Like I thought that felt big and made it feel like a big deal, but like the announce tables, like the entrances and shit, like it just felt like a big indie show. Like, and I was expecting more, especially after they took Kevin Dunn's literally handpicked replacement. They fucking robbed him from WWE last year. And like, I don't see what exactly he brought to the table because like nothing's really changed for me as far as presentation and everything goes. Like their video packages have got better and things like
Yeah.
that. But like other than that, like I don't see where he's made a big difference. So like what the fuck did you take him for him and pay all that money if to me production wise it doesn't look any better than it did before.
Who knows? Maybe it could be just that much more ass without him.
I
Who
mean,
knows?
yeah, that sucks to say that, but like maybe that is the truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just disappointed me. Like, I'm not even saying like it needed like more pyro or anything. Like, just like, I don't know, just like the overall presentation of it was, to me, was mid as fuck.
Yeah, I think what they'll do is they'll just go back, and this was their first one,
Right.
And you know what? At the end of the day,
So they do get a pass. Like, I hate to say that too. Like, now that we know they can do it, maybe next year things will ramp up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I wholeheartedly expect at least, one or two things, as long as we keep our expectations tapered and we don't keep walking into like something like this and expecting WrestleMania, and for it to feel like WrestleMania, because at the end of the day, the reason why people choose to watch AEW is because they want something that feels different than WWE. And it's so weird how we admit that that's what it is, and then our lizard brains just go straight to comparing it to WWE.
So let me do my third takeaway since we're on that track.
Yeah, go ahead.
The whole point of AEW was like, we're not WWE, we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna do that. That whole card felt like a WWE match. All the fucking tag matches and multi-man matches and them trying to get everybody on, like it had everything. It had more, the only thing it was missing to make it not feel like a WrestleMania and to fucking just to get everybody they can on the card is they didn't have a fucking battle royal. But other than that, like it was too many fucking multi-man matches. Like it was too many tag matches. Like it wasn't enough focused on, to me, your stars, because all your stars were in a multi-man match. Like Kenny Omega should have had a singles match. Like even at this point, I think Mox should have had a singles match, or at least just a tag match. You know what I'm saying? Like I just felt like it was too many multi-man matches for me. Like way too many.
I hear you on that, and I can see where you make that where you can come to that conclusion. However, going into my third take, the trios titles feel more important than the AEW tag titles to me. They feel like they're a higher priority, which
agree.
And I don't necessarily believe they are a higher priority, but I think like inadvertently AEW has done a better job with the trios feud between the Acclaimed with Billy Gunn versus House of Black than they did with FTR and the Young Bucks. And now, granted, I liked both matches. I liked both matches very much. However, the Young Bucks and FTR, their whole story is just like, hey, there's a big event coming up. We should, have our match there because we're the biggest tag match that we can have. And they never really give us too much substance to chew on, especially their first match. The first match, the build was offensively bad, how they did that. However, the trios match saw a retirement angle, crisis of confidence. They saw plenty of cameos, and then the payoff was earned respect. They had a full-fledged story told between the Acclaimed and the House of Black, and then they of course had their fantastic trios match. Which, by the way, in-ring wise, I'm enjoying those more too. By the way, because look at everybody that you have involved in there. It's a fucking blast. Like I said, so. Do I believe it's actually like on AEW's pecking order? No, but I believe inadvertently they did way better recently with the trios titles than they have, of course, with their own tag titles.
I guess my take on that is I think it has a lot more to do with it being Aleister Black and them hearing people's complaints about how he felt so fucking underutilized and unused. I think it was more so to do with that than anything. Mm-hmm. I think that we'll see him kind of come down back to life with the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass having him.
They did fantastic.
But no, I completely agree with completely agree with your take. But like I said, I think it's something different. My reasoning behind it is more as Aleister Black than anything.
You think that's why it was? They're like fucking, because we had this conversation a couple of years ago, where it's like Tony Khan was just like, Aleister Black wanted out, and Tony Khan was like, "Fuck, just wait, we'll figure this out." Like, I'm sorry, like that was like of all the wrestlers that were leaving around the time that Aleister Black was waiting out his shit, I was like, if there's anybody Tony Khan really should consider apologizing to and taking a second crack at and do not let walk away because of this, it was fucking Aleister Black. Because at the time, I think Miro was in that conversation and Andrade was in that conversation. And I was like, you know what? You fucked up with them. You can let them walk. Aleister Black, you need to do what you can to keep that fucking guy, and get him involved somewhere, because the they've done like a little job here and there, like just creating their own little fucking universe,
right?
With their trios titles and matches and shit.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I think it had more to do with Aleister Black than the trio titles themselves, or even the storytelling behind it. I think that they had to do something to keep him happy. He got him and his crew. You know what I'm saying? Like, because him and Brody's been a tag team for fucking 10 years, damn near, from Tommy.
It's fucking made me love Brody, by the way. Yo, hearing everybody like do like the fucking like I guess like the dog, like the barking with Brody at Wembley was fucking powerful, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this was a way to keep him happy, take care of his guys, and keep him happy, and keep titles on him, and keep a story into him. So hopefully with them losing the titles, that means they can move into more singles with them both. Because I want to see more singles with Buddy and more singles with Brody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
keep the stories coming,
I love
man.
both of them.
Whatever, however you do it, singles, tag, trios, whatever, keep the stories. Keep telling the stories, because that story with Billy Gunn was fucking awesome, dude.
I want to see them versus the Elite. Can you imagine those matches?
Mm-hmm. They'd win.
Kenny versus Buddy, fucking Kenny versus Brody, Brody and them as a tag team versus the Bucks. You know what I'm saying?
Brody could just fucking flick the Bucks off of him. Just like, get the fuck out of here.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that they've built them up enough to where that wouldn't feel like, if they won, it wouldn't feel like out of place.
Yeah, man. Awesome. So yeah, those were kind of our thoughts on All In. We didn't do like a full review of the breakdown of the card, because at this point it's already Tuesday. The pay-per-view has already had like 3 days, and anybody who wants to have watched, oh, thank you, Matt. Matt's calling us out. It's Malachi Black. If you wanted to watch somebody break down the whole show, chances are you probably have already done it, and I'm not trying to waste your time with the same shit. And so, speaking of which, not giving you the same shit, let's go ahead and do UWO. That's a fucking Rewind exclusive over here. So yeah, let's go ahead and kick that off.
Man, I just realized it's whatever we call it. It's Jet Black, if I want to call it. Fuck you.
I've been WWE naming a couple of them. All right, let's fucking let's kick this thing off. Where's that shit? There we go.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
All right, let's do some UWO. For anybody that's uninformed, this is a segment that we do on our show where I've pulled a couple tweets off of Twitter that may or may not be like hot takes. Usually I try to keep them topical now. And then myself and RN, and then any guests on the show, we'll just talk about if the tweet is trash and really a hot take, or if it has some merit to what they're saying, and we give it a pass. Without further ado, let's kick this off with the very first tweet coming in from underscore PW Chronicle. The story that MJF and Adam Cole just told about their friendship with the addition of Roderick Strong inside of the Squared Circle was absolutely amazing to watch. This is the best storyline AEW has done, in my opinion. is what we're going with. RN, is this AEW's best story to date? The friendship of Cole and fucking MJF.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be. If everyone thinks that it's the second best storyline to the Bloodline, which is the best storyline in wrestling in the past fucking 3 years, and yeah, you have to say it's the best storyline in AEW history. Like, and the fact that they did what we were talking about a few weeks ago and didn't try and rush it and break them up and make it a fucking thing. Like, they even stretched it out further. Like, it's definitely the best storyline of AEW, and it's fucking amazing, and it's still going. So I'm here for it.
Yeah, the only other one that comes to mind when I think like best story was Hangman Page, his whole arc with Kenny Omega and the Belt Collector. So, but you know what?
Yeah, but the only reason why with that, they did that a year too late.
Yeah, you know, and besides, we're looking at this through some rose-tinted glasses, and I find it intoxicating. So I'm going to agree with the tweet as well. Fucking, what's this guy's name? PW Chronicle. Some good shit, man.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let me see if I can figure out how to go on to the next tweet really smoothly. Here we go. Coming in from Kicking Out Pod. I really hope we see Will Ospreay become all elite in 2024. In my opinion, he's the best wrestler in the world. All right, is this a hot take?
No, it's not a hot take. It could happen. It's probably going to happen. I wish it wouldn't. Because as much as I like, we're going to see these matches in AEW. We've seen them before. We're going to see them. Like, it is what it is. Like, the real matches that I want to see and the people I want to see are all in WWE. And, like, to me, that's the pinnacle. That's the best of the best. So, like, he's probably is going to end up signing with AEW, but I hope that that's not the case and he goes to WWE.
Oh, that's a hot take if I ever heard one right there. I don't know. I agree with the tweet. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna agree with the tweet. I'd like to see Will Ospreay in AEW after that match with Chris Jericho. I fucking just anybody you put Will Ospreay in there with, it's like he's like a dream match machine at this point, in my opinion. Along with all
I agree with the tweet too, technically, but like my thing is like it's a linear move, like it's not a move up.
All the cool kids are twitching. I don't even know what that means, Matt. So I don't even know what that means. But yeah, so that's essentially 1.5 passes from us. So that's in my book, that's a pass.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it's passable.
Yeah, why not? Okay. Let's go on here. From PDMHN, Jericho's best match since joining AEW and one of his best matches of all time in reference to said Will Ospreay match.
We already said this earlier, so yeah. We might just push that through.
Yeah, we that's pretty much it. Hey, you got to think though, the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling is all just faces of Chris Jericho at this point, right?
Right.
It's just
I
fucking
mean,
at this point.
He's slowly putting himself up there. Like, as much as people want to hate on him, like, and I personally hate him outside the ring. I think he's a fucking douche. I think he's borderline racist, honestly. But inside the ring, like, as many times as he's reinvented himself, as many times you think you're like, oh, this old fuck is done. Then he has another 5-star match. Not Meltzer rating. These are RN ratings. Like, he's had nothing but bangers here within the last 5 to 7 years, and he's just getting older and older. And like this match right here, like this is the most athletic person he's probably faced in the last 10 years.
Oh man, and he brought the best out of him.
And he brought the best out of him. Like, when's the last time we seen fucking Jericho do a Hurricane Rana?
Jeez, not like that. And he did it off the top rope too, man. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he did his fucking thing in this match. Like, and I'm glad that like, and I never really thought Jericho was gonna win this. Like, but I was gonna be pissed if he did.
Yeah. Well, it was a fantastic ending too, man. It was kind of I think he was going for the old like gunslinger that ran out of ammo, but I feel like in the moment it got a little muddled, but it was still really good. He told the
that's exactly what I was going for. Like if like you said, if the old gunslinger, if he had one more bullet in his gun, he would have fucking won, but he didn't.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's a perfect analogy.
he fucking he told Will Ospreay, you don't need to make that blade hidden. He told him just put it right on the chin. Oh, it was a fantastic fucking ending.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Coming in from Nick Lombardi SK. I think it's fair to say we are approaching a state of reality where it's more conceivable that CM Punk returns to WWE and Mercedes Moné never does. And that's crazy. At this point, is CM Punk more likely to wind up in WWE than Sasha Banks?
At one point, I would have said no, but like Triple H ain't fucking around. Like,
Yeah.
if they can bring in and make it work with Cody and blow Cody up in that little beef they had and all that, even though I knew that was all a work, like Triple H and Stephanie, it's always been their tagline, what's best for business. And CM Punk coming out at fucking Rumble or fucking Mania, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, man. Yeah, we would all collectively melt down like tenfold again. Yeah, it's fucking. Yeah. But like you said it right in the beginning, Triple H being there, I don't know, man. I don't know if he'll ever let that. I'm gonna say this one's trash, but not fully trash, but a little trash. All right, let's see. Wrestling Lenny, unpopular opinion. AEW would be better off globally than just in North America. RN, an AEW World Tour. Is that better than just sticking here domestically?
No, I mean, they just showed that they could do it.
Yeah, bro. Fucking dude. Yeah, AEW. His tweet is weird and funny. This one thing I'm noticing is it says that they're better off globally than just in North. Oh wait, I mean, yeah, no, never mind. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I thought for one reason I don't know why in my head like my brain was interpreting it like exclusively outside of America. No, of course, man. The more people you can reach, fucking the more money you can make. That's a simple one.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And then this one says, maybe an unpopular opinion, but I truly believe Excalibur ruins AEW with his terrible over-the-top commentating at Reap 570. Dude, I couldn't disagree more.
Bro, yeah, throw this the fuck away. Like, light this on fire. And throw it. Excalibur's the only good announcer they fucking have, because Taz is not what he was. I don't know if he just doesn't get enough time or what, but like he doesn't have that like oomph that he used to have. Shivani is literally just fuck. And you know what I'm saying? And Ross is Ross whenever he's fucking there. Like there is no Excalibur is the top of the line fucking announcer outside of WWE, like by far. Him and Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, fuck this guy at Reap 570. Delete your Twitter, you trash. That was a bit harsh actually, but
no, it wasn't. That was literally the hottest of hot, stupid takes. It was hotter. It was hot, stinky garbage.
All right, and I think I got like one more. We went really long the other day, so I was like, you know what, maybe we should just tone it down to like 7. Yeah, last one. It says from @Dro2593, unpopular opinion: Orange Cassidy is the best babyface in AEW. Is the best one that AEW has, and should be world champion sooner rather than later.
Do these people know what unpopular means? Like, these are not unpopular opinions. Like, everybody thinks this. Like, my fucking cousin who doesn't watch wrestling at all and has always given me shit about it, he's been staying with me for a few weeks. Like, his favorite wrestler is fucking Orange Cassidy. Like, he's like, and how it happened was, like, because I was watching so many shows and, like, trying to binge shit before we recorded and stuff. He's like, motherfucker, every time I wake up, what's his name? Because he calls him my buddy Adam. You know Adam. Yeah. He calls Orange Cassidy. And he's like, every time I look up, Adam's on fucking TV. I was like, I know, man. He's the hardest fucking man in wrestling. He's like, these are different shows. He was like, I thought this was all like, nah, man. This is all like, he was like, that motherfucker wrestle every week. I'm like, yeah. He was like, I fucking love him. Man. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he is, and he's grown on me too. Like, I've always liked him because I always defended him from the comedy shit because how great he is in the ring. But like, I mean, I think they did some graphic. He's defended the title more times than Roman Reigns has with their career of how long they've had the belt. Like he's defended it more times, his belt more times than Roman Reigns has defended it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, his
that was almost double or something like that.
Jesus. Yeah, he holds the record too now. He holds the record for the most title defenses. in AEW, which is crazy, man.
This is not an unpopular opinion. This is the opinion. Like everyone, unless you're just a straight up fucking hater, like, and I am a straight up hater for most things AEW, but Orange Cassidy is probably one of the top 2 or 3 things on their show, and his journey and him overcoming the injuries and shit. And like, it's not so much like Darby where he's overcoming himself and his body. Like, he's really overcoming the injuries and shit and being on TV every fucking week. Like, that he's fire. I love him.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, thank y'all. That was UWO this week with me and RN. That was fucking awesome. Before we go, RN, we'll go ahead and tackle the drama, and we don't need to flesh this out too much. This has been a fun show, but
Let's
I
go
did
to
say
10:30. This is unnecessary, and like, it's at this point, like, go ahead and say it, because I just want to.
It's okay. So listen, I'm just posing. How about this? Instead of covering it like we're covering news, I just want to pose a question to you. Okay, how about that? Because there's the CM Punk Jungle Boy stupid backstage drama. It started with Punk told Jungle Boy he shouldn't use glass apparently in his stunt, and thought that maybe he's trying to take a vacation. And Jungle Boy has been a dick ever since about it, I guess. And at All In, Jungle Boy mentioned using real glass, and then was like suplexed into it. And apparently, depending who you ask, one of the 2 participants ran up and hit the other one, essentially backstage. And then Jungle Boy found himself in a chokehold. Both guys have seemingly been suspended, which is very unfortunate because All Out is this weekend, and it's in Chicago. So there's a really good chance that CM Punk might miss Chicago. But besides all the stupid drama, besides all of that, because it's high school shit is all we're talking about. We're adults talking about fucking petty drama that happens like in high school. My question to you, RN, is regardless of who's at fault, what alarms are risen when one participant, being CM Punk, consistently ends up in repeated headlines about backstage drama? If
this was a different company, a lot of them, but the fact that it's the second biggest company, and this is what they brought him back for. Like, at this point, it's almost a work for me. Like, I mean, every show there's something, every fucking week there's something. Like, at this point, this is CM Punk pretty much like, fuck y'all. Y'all want to keep me away from the elite, so I'm gonna make my own headlines any chance I fucking get, and you're gonna love me for it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing about, like, this is like it's like the fatigue, fatigue of just of seeing these headlines and stupid shit. At the end of the day, I could care less because, here's the main kicker, is there. You can read the reports. CM Punk is upset about AEW. He hates being there. Whatever, he may leave. Those are the clickbait headlines. Mm-hmm. The man, at the end of the day, is still a professional. He had whatever that altercation was, and went out, and depending on who you ask, had one of the most entertaining matches of the night with Samoa Joe at All In. Right. Their match in All In. He did that right after the drama in the company that he supposedly hates being in. And the reason why he did that is he's still, at the end of the day, he's still a professional to where he's not going to take away from the fans. I don't think so. Yeah, but you're right. This is Tony Khan, and Tony Khan's just like, fuck it. It's just, if anybody clearly gets a pass, like we give AEW, Tony Khan gives them to CM Punk. But it's weird because I could give a fuck. I really could give a fuck, but it is what it is. I love it. I mean, MJF hit the nail on the head at the press conference where he's like, "Yeah, not everybody gets along, but I'm sure that you guys go to work and there's somebody that you wish you could punch in the face at your job." You know what I mean? He's like, it's fucking, it is what it is. Like, it's just part of working around a serious number of individuals. Mm-hmm. But who knows? My bad.
And I like seeing. Hold on, I like seeing that Jungle Boy or Jack Perry fucking like standing up, like, man, fuck you, bro. I don't give a fuck who you are, bro.
That's the attitude AEW is supposed to have, man.
It is like I mean, as much as we give them shit, like everybody should want more. Everybody should be fighting and crawling for the fucking top spot, and everybody should be gunning for CM Punk. I mean, because clearly he's the top person. Like,
yeah,
what's this the first time MJF's been in the main event? What, 3 pay-per-views?
Yeah, man. It's fucking yeah. It is what it is. Right. It's just a lot of people love the fucking to get into all that drama, man. Really quick, I was a dickhead, RN. Matt Ritter actually submitted a UWO that we were supposed to read off with our UWOs. So here's his. Really quick. Here it is. It says UWO. The elite are the least entertaining part of all elite wrestling.
Facts.
I don't fucking know, man. There's some like they had a fucking librarian for a long time. Come on, man. Like they have. I get where they're not. I get where they're overhyped, but the least.
Yeah, but are you saying
part,
we're talking about who are we talking about as the elite though? That's another thing too.
So the Bucks and Kenny. The Bucks and Kenny are the elite, right?
No, well then no, because Kenny to me is still the best wrestler in AEW, like by far.
Yeah, man. I was gonna say, like, I can, like, if this was just stated that they are overhyped and they're not as entertaining as advertised, then yeah, I agree with that. But like,
I just
to
don't
be
understand
like
why people
entertaining,
hate the Bucks. I don't understand why people hate the Bucks so much. Like, it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I am trying to think off the top of my head somebody who's clearly not that entertaining.
Hangman.
Hangman? Oh, he's part of the elite too.
That's what I'm saying. To me, he's the least entertaining out of all of them. His gimmick is he drinks on camera.
Yeah. He's very introverted.
He's a rhinestone cowboy. That's his gimmick.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fucking eat this shit. All right, sorry. We're gonna go ahead and eat that fucking shit off my stream. Are you struggling? Yes, I was struggling.
Yes.
Fuck it, I'm still eating it though. All right, man, let's get out of here, RN. Yeah, dude. Listen, you guys. If you watched the opening with us, thank you for sticking around. It's some topics aren't the easiest to articulate, such as like loss and depression and stuff like that. But RN and I believe it's healthy to discuss this stuff, especially coming from people who've struggled with addiction and mental health issues. So like every show we always try to mention is if you are finding yourself struggling, man, you fucking what would your mom say?
You get it out? You get it out?
Man.
You got it out? All right. Let's move forward. Keep it light.
Man. Reach out and talk to somebody, man.
We're here.
Yep, same here. We are here. RN, how's the kennel business going?
Doing pretty good. We got 3 litters we're waiting on right now. I got my girl here, hopefully is pregnant, fingers crossed, and we got 2 Frenchie litters coming up very shortly. So it's going to be a busy holiday season.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of busy, we're going to be back this week, actually. We're going to do more than one show this week because, yeah. What day did we decide on?
Thursday night.
Thursday night. Okay, we'll do Thursday night, 9:30. We're going to do a double prediction episode. We're going to do a prediction episode for both AEW All Out and WWE Payback. We're going to do both of those. So you guys go ahead and tune in with us, twitch.tv/SmackedRaw, 9:30 p.m. this Thursday. Otherwise, we'll be back like we are every Tuesday night, 9:30. If you ever miss a live episode of the show, you can always check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/SmackedRawPodcast. Shout out at us on Twitter at SmackedRawPod, myself at The Kai Tai Show.
Mr. 8984 for me. And normally I say see you next week, but see you in a couple days.
See y'all in a couple days, man. Oh fuck! Where's the button? Where's the button? Here it is.